The black market station floated in dead space, far from any law. No flags, no names, only credits and cages. A human stepped inside. He did not look strong. He did not carry heavy weapons. That alone made the dealers laugh. Around him, glass cages lined the hall. Inside them were creatures from many worlds, some quiet, some crying, some already broken. Buyers walked slowly, pointing, bidding, smiling. Then the human stopped. In the last cage sat a goth cat girl. Black clothes, dark eyes, sharp ears pressed flat against her head. She did not beg. She did not cry. She stared back with cold hate. A warning glowed red on the cage. Unstable, violent, do not remove limiter. The auctioneer smirked. She bites, he said. She attacks. She obeys no one. Even her own kind gave up on her. Some buyers stepped away. Others laughed. The human leaned closer. He saw the scars. Not from fights. Not from animals. These were experiment marks. When the bidding started, no one raised a hand. She's useless, someone said. Too much trouble, another replied. The auctioneer sighed. Last chance. The human lifted his hand. The room went silent. All eyes turned to him. The auctioneer blinked. You want that one? The cat girl's ears twitched. Her claws dug into the floor. Her tail lashed with anger. She expected pain. She expected chains. She expected another monster. The human only said one sentence. I'm taking her. The auctioneer laughed loudly. Your funeral. Credits transferred. Locks released. The cage opened. In one blur of black motion, the cat girl lunged. Claws flashed. Alarm screamed. And everyone watching thought the same thing. The human had made the worst mistake of his life. But none of them knew the truth yet. This single choice would shake the black markets, expose galactic crimes, and prove something the universe had forgotten: when humanity chooses mercy. Even monsters stopped being afraid. And the story had only just begun. The black market station drifted in dead space like a rotten tooth. No planet claimed it. No law reached it. Its lights were dim, its holes narrow, and the air smelled of metal, oil, and fear. People came here for things they could not buy anywhere else: illegal tech, stolen parts, and living beings sold like tools. A human walked in alone. He wore a plain jacket, heavy boots, and a hood that hid most of his face. He did not look like a soldier. He did not look rich. That made the guards relax. They should not have. His name was Elias Ward, and he had spent years chasing rumors about this place. Not for profit, not for revenge, for proof, for a chance to pull one person out before the market swallowed him forever. He kept his hands visible as he moved through the main hall. Cages lined both sides, stacked in rows. Glass boxes, metal bars, energy nets. Inside them were creatures from dozens of worlds, some silent, some weak, some staring with empty eyes. Buyers walked slowly, talking in low voices, tapping on screens, judging. Elias forced his breathing to stay calm. He had seen war. He had seen pirates. But this felt worse because it was quiet. It was normal, like shopping. A loud voice cut through the hall. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we have rare stock. A tall auctioneer stood on a raised platform, smiling too wide. Behind him, a screen showed prices and numbers rising. Elias moved with the crowd, pretending he was just another buyer. Then he saw the last cage. It was tucked in the darkest corner, away from the main lights. The glass was scratched, and warning symbols glowed across it in red. Inside sat a cat girl. Not a pet, not a toy, a person. She looked young, adult, but not old. Her hair was black and messy, falling over one eye. Her clothes were dark too, torn at the edges, like someone had dressed her for a role and then thrown her away. Her ears were sharp and flat against her head. Her tail moved slowly behind her, not playful, more like a warning. Her hands rested on the floor, fingers curled like claws. Her eyes were the worst part. Cold, angry, fully awake. She did not beg. She did not cry. She did not even look at the buyers. She stared past them as if she hated the whole universe. A sign on the cage flashed. Unstable. Violent. Do not remove limiter. Elias stepped closer. The cat girl's head turned. Just slightly. Her gaze locked on him. He felt it like a blade on his throat. She was ready to attack, even through glass. The auctioneer's voice slid into a mocking tone. Ah, yes, our final item. A Sunder model, as some buyers like to call it. Cold, sharp, and full of attitude. The crowd chuckled. Elias did not. The auctioneer tapped the cage with a metal ring. She bites. She scratches. She obeys no one. Even her own kind abandoned her. Someone in the crowd waved a hand. Is she even trained? No, the auctioneer said, proud of the word. But she is rare. Engineered traits. Strong senses. Fast reflexes. Perfect for anyone who needs protection. Protection. Elias heard the real meaning. Bodyguard, weapon, tool. The cat girl's ears twitched at the word. Her lips pulled back, showing sharp teeth. Not a smile. A threat. Elias leaned closer, pretending to inspect her like the others. That was when he saw the marks. Thin lines under her collarbone. Small circles behind her ear. A scar that curved around her neck where device had burned into skin. Those were not battle scars. Those were lab scars. Elias's jaw tightened. His hand flexed at his side. He had heard whispers about a program called Liminal. A corporate project that mixed genetics and control tech. They claimed it was security research. People like Elias called it what it was. Slavery with science. The auctioneer began the bidding. Starting price, 5,000 credits. No hands rose. 4,000. Still nothing. The buyers looked away. Some laughed. Some made rude jokes. A few whispered, too risky, and not worth it. The auctioneer frowned. 3,000. The cat girl stared at the floor now, not because she was weak, because she refused to give them the pleasure of seeing her react. Elias felt something heavy in his chest. He did not know her name. He did not know her story. But he knew this place. If she stayed, she would be sold to someone worse, or broken until she obeyed, or tossed out into space like trash. The auctioneer raised his voice again. Last chance. 2,000 credits. Anyone? Elias lifted his hand. The sound of it, just a movement, felt loud in the silence. Heads turned. Eyes narrowed. The auctioneer blinked, surprised. Then his smile returned, wider than before. Well, a human with courage, or a human with a death wish. Elias did not answer. He simply pointed at the cage. I'm taking her, he said. The crowd murmured. A few people backed away, as if the decision itself was dangerous. The cat girl's eyes snapped back up. Her pupils narrowed. Her tail flicked fast. She did not look relieved. She looked offended, like she hated being chosen at all. The auctioneer touched his wrist screen. Credits first. Elias transferred the payment. It was almost all the money he had brought. The auctioneer laughed softly. No refunds. The cage locks clicked. A guard stepped forward. You sure you want the limiter off? Elias stared at the red warning labels. No, he said. Keep it on. For now. He was not here to get killed. He was here to get her out. The guard pressed a panel. The glass door slid open. For half a second, nothing happened. Then the cat girl moved. She exploded out of the cage like a shadow. Fast, too fast for most eyes. Her shoulder hit Elias's chest and drove him back. Her claws flashed toward his throat. Alarm screamed. The crowd jumped away. Elias twisted, raising his arm to block. Her claws raked his sleeve instead of skin. Pain burned along his forearm. But Elias did not strike her. He did not punch. He did not grab her hair. He did not pull a weapon. He only took a step back and said, clear and steady, stop. The word was simple. It was not a command. It was a choice. The cat girl froze for one breath, surprised. Elias used that moment to open his palm. I'm not your enemy, he said. I'm getting you out. Her eyes locked on his hand, then on his face. She seemed to search for the trick, the trap, the hidden chain. Her lip curled. She hissed a short, sharp sound. Then she lunged again, this time not to kill, but to test. Her fist slammed into his chest. Hard, Elias grunted and stumbled, but he stayed upright. The crowd shouted. Guards raised weapons. Elias lifted his other hand quickly. Don't shoot. The auctioneer sneered. Control her, human. Elias's gaze stayed on the cat girl. He spoke softly, like he was talking to a frightened animal, but with respect, like he was talking to a person. You don't have to believe me, he said, but if you want freedom, come with me. The cat girl's ears flicked. Freedom. For the first time, her anger cracked just a little, not into kindness, into confusion. And in that tiny pause, Elias saw something under the hate. Fear. Not fear of pain. Fear of hope. Because hope was dangerous in a place like this. A guard stepped closer, finger on the trigger. Elias didn't look away. I paid, he said. She's leaving with me. The guard hesitated. Then the cat girl's collar beeped. A harsh red light flashed around her neck. She jolted like lightning hit her spine. Her body shook. Her teeth clenched. A low, broken sound came from her throat. The limiter. Someone had activated it. The auctioneer's smile sharpened. Just in case, he said. Elias's calm shattered. He took one step forward, and the cat girl, half in pain, half in rage, turned her burning eyes on him like he were the reason she suffered. Then she screamed one word, rough and distorted through clenched teeth. Liar. And she attacked again, stronger, faster. As the entire station's lights flickered, and armed security rushed in from both ends of the holder alarm did not stop screaming until Elias's ship broke free from the station. Red lights flashed across the cockpit. Warning messages filled the screens. Behind him, in the cargo bay, metal slam and claws scrape against steel. Elias gripped the controls. Engines at full, he muttered. A blast shook the ship as security cannons fired one last time. Then space opened wide, dark and silent, and the station vanished behind them. Only then did Elias breathe out. But the danger was not over. He unstrapped and slowly stood. His arm burned where her claws had torn his sleeve. Blood soaked the fabric, warm and real. He ignored it. The cat girl was still on board. The cargo bay door slid open with a soft hiss. Elias stopped at the entrance. The lights inside were low, calm, not harsh like the station. The floor was clean metal. No cages. No chains. In the center of the room stood the cat girl. Her body was tense. Her ears were flat. Her tail lashed side to side like a blade. The limiter collar still glowed red around her neck. She was breathing hard, eyes locked on him. A predator cornered, but also a prisoner. Elias raised his empty hands again. I didn't turn it on, he said slowly. The collar, that wasn't me. She did not answer. She did not speak at all. She took one step forward. Elias did not move. Another step. Her claws extended with a sharp sound. Elias swallowed. I won't hurt you, he said, and I won't sell you. I swear. She tilted her head, just slightly, like she was studying prey. Then she attacked. She crossed the room in a blur. Elias barely had time to turn before she slammed into him. They hit the wall hard. The air left his lungs in a sharp gasp. Her claws pressed against his throat. One move, and she could end him. Elias felt the cold metal of the wall against his back. He smelled oil and ozone. He felt her breath, fast and angry. He did not fight back. That shocked her. Most beings struggled. Most screamed. Most begged. He did none of that. He met her eyes. If you want to kill me, he said, voice rough but steady, do it. Her ears twitched. But if you do, he continued, you'll never know why I came. Her claws shook. She growled low in her throat. Elias felt the pressure ease just a little. I came, he said, because I've seen places like that before, and I know what they turn people into. Her eyes narrowed. People, not property, not product. People. Slowly, she pulled her claws away. Not fully, just enough. She stepped back, breathing hard. Elias slid down the wall and sat on the floor, careful not to make sudden moves. Food's over there, he said, nodding toward a sealed container. Water, too. You don't have to take it, but it's yours. He did not stand. He did not move closer. He waited. Minutes passed. The ship hummed softly around them. The cat girl stared at him like she was trying to decide what kind of monster he was. Then she kicked the container. It skidded across the floor, spilling water and ration packs. She turned away, arms crossed, back stiff. Refusal. Elias sighed quietly. "Okay," he said. "Your choice." He stood slowly and left the cargo bay. Hours passed. Elias cleaned his wound and wrapped it tight. The claw marks were deep but clean. He'd had worse. He checked the scanners. No ships followed them. Good. Still, he did not relax. He returned to the cargo bay. The food was untouched. The water was gone. She had drunk it when he wasn't there. Progress. She now sat in the corner, knees pulled up, tail wrapped tight around her legs. Her eyes were half closed, but she was not sleeping. Watching. Waiting. Elias sat on the floor again, several steps away. "I don't know your name," he said. "If you have one." No answer. "That's fine," he added. "You don't owe me words." He reached into his jacket slowly and pulled out a small tool, a handheld scanner. Her ears snapped toward it. Her body tensed. "It's for the collar," he said quickly. "I'm not turning it on. I want to understand it." She hissed. Elias placed the scan on the floor and slid it toward her, then pushed it back toward himself, showing he would not use it on her without reason. "This thing," he said, tapping the scanner, "is killing you slowly. Not today, not tomorrow, but it's hurting your nervous system." Her eyes flicked to the collar, then away, like she did not want to look at it. "I can remove it," Elias said, "but not yet, not until we're safe, and not without your choice." That made her look at him again. Choice, that word again. He waited. She did not speak, but her tail stopped lashing. Later, the ship jumped into deep space. Stars stretched and snapped back into place. The motion made the cat girl stagger. Before she fell, Elias moved. Fast. He caught her. Her body froze in his arms. Not attacking. Not relaxed. Confused. Elias steadied her and let go immediately. "Sorry," he said. Reflex. She stared at him, wide-eyed. No one had caught her gently before. She stepped back, then sat down again, this time closer to the center of the room. That night cycle, Elias did something dangerous. He removed his weapons. All of them. Blaster, knife, shock baton. He placed them on the floor between them. "I don't want you to feel trapped," he said. "If you attack me, I won't stop you with force." Her gaze snapped to the weapons, then to him, then back again. Slowly, carefully, she reached out and pushed the weapons away from herself. She did not take them. She did not want power. She wanted certainty. Elias nodded once. "Tomorrow," he said, "I'll open the collar lock." Her breath caught. "But only if you stay," he added, "not because you're forced. Because you choose to." She clenched her fists. Choice again. For a long time, she said nothing. Then, finally, her lips parted. Her voice was low, rough, like it had not been used in a long time. "Why?" Elias looked at her. "Why what?" "Why me?" The question was not angry. It was scared. Elias answered honestly. "Because someone should have chosen you before." Her eyes burned, not with rage, with something far more dangerous. Hope. She turned her face away quickly, hiding it. The collar around her neck dimmed slightly, reacting to her lowered stress. And in the quiet cargo bay, for the first time since the black market, she did not look like she wanted to kill him. But outside the ship, far across space, a signal pulsed once. A tracking ping. Someone had found them. The ship drifted in quiet space. No alarms, no gunfire, only the low hum of engines and distant stars. Elias sat in the cockpit, watching the navigation screen. The tracking alert still glowed faintly in his mind, even though the scanners showed nothing yet. Someone had found them. He did not know when they would come, only that they would. Behind him, in the cargo bay, the cat girl sat awake. The collar around her neck was dim now, no longer burning red. Her breathing was slower. Controlled. She had not attacked him again. That alone felt unreal. Elias stood and walked back carefully, making sure she heard his steps. I said I'd open the collar, he said. Her ears lifted slightly. He knelt in front of her, keeping distance. The handheld tool rested in his palm. This will hurt a little, he said. Not pain, more like pressure. If you want me to stop, I will. She watched his hands. Then, slowly, she nodded once. Elias swallowed. He activated the tool. The collar clicked. Light flashed, then faded. The metal split and fell away, hitting the floor with a soft sound. Silence filled the room. The cat girl froze. Her hands went to her neck, touching bare skin. She rubbed it like she expected the pain to return. It did not. Her breath shook. Then she laughed. It was short, broken, almost ugly, but it was real. She stood suddenly, stumbling back, then forward, like she did not trust her own body. Elias stayed still. She looked at him. You could have used it, she said. Her voice was clearer now. Still rough, but stronger. Elias nodded. Yes. Why didn't you? Because control is easy, he said. Choice is harder. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she turned away. I don't trust humans, she said flatly. Elias expected that. I know. You sell. You cage. You cut. Her tail lashed once. You lie. Elias took a breath. We do, he said. Some of us. She turned back sharply. That's not good enough. No, Elias agreed. It isn't. The ship hummed quietly. After a long silence, she spoke again. You want to know why I hate humans? She asked. Elias nodded. Yes, but only if you want to tell me. Her ears flattened. They taught me to, she said. Elias frowned. Who did? She clenched her fists. Humans with clean hands and smiling mouths, she said. Humans who said they were saving us. Her voice stayed steady, but her eyes burned. My people were not fighters, she continued. We lived on small moons. We traded. We avoided wars. She paused. Then they came. Elias did not interrupt. They said our bodies adapted faster than most species. Strong nerves, sharp senses, loyal instincts. She laughed bitterly. Good traits for gods. Her claws dug into the floor. They took children first, she said. Said adults were too fixed. Elias felt cold spread through his chest. They trained us to hate, she went on. Videos, lessons, pain, rewards. She touched her temple. They showed us humans killing us. Humans burning our homes. Humans laughing. Elias closed his eyes. But those videos were lies, she said. Mixed, edited, old wars, other species. She looked at him now, eyes sharp. They wanted weapons that obeyed without question. Elias nodded slowly. Liminal. Her ears twitched. You know the name. I chased it for years, Elias said. I never found proof. She smiled without humor. You found me. Elias swallowed. They told us one thing every day, she said. Humans are enemies. Humans will betray you. Humans deserve no mercy. She stewed and stepped closer to him. So when I saw you raise your hand in that market, her voice wavered. I thought you were just another lie. Elias met her gaze. Why didn't you kill me? He asked quietly. She hesitated. Because you didn't act like them, she said. You didn't look proud or excited. She gestured around the ship. You didn't cage me. You didn't shock me. You didn't demand. She crossed her arms. That confused me. Elias gave a small, tired smile. Confusion can be good, he said. She snorted. I hate it. For the first time, the tension eased just a little. Elias sat down. My turn, he said. She raised an eyebrow. Your turn for what? For truth. She waited. I fought those corporations, Elias said. Not as a hero, as a grunt. I guarded labs, ships, places like that station. Her posture changed instantly. You were one of them, she said sharply. Elias said, until I saw what they were doing. He stared at the floor. I didn't stop it fast enough, he said. I quit. I ran. And I spent years trying to burn their trails. She studied his face. You failed, she said. Yes, Elias replied. A lot. Silence stretched. Then she asked softly, why come back? Elias looked up. Because walking away doesn't make you innocent, he said. It just makes you quiet. Her ears lifted slightly. Outside the ship, the scanner chimed. Elias stiffened. A signal appeared on the screen. Unknown vessel. Long range. Closing fast. Her eyes followed his. They found us, she said. Yes. She flexed her claws. They'll want me back. And I won't give you to them, Elias said. She tilted her head. Even if it kills you. Elias did not hesitate. Yes. She stared at him, searching for doubt. She found none. Slowly, she stepped closer. Then listen, she said. They trained me to kill humans. Her claws slid out with a soft sound. But they forgot one thing. Elias looked up. What? She smiled. Small, sharp, dangerous. They also trained me to protect. The ship shuddered as the unknown vessel jumped closer. And for the first time, she stood beside him. Not behind, not ahead, beside. The warning alarm screamed. Elias grabbed the console as the ship shook. Red symbols flashed across the cockpit screen. 2 ships, he muttered. Fast. Armed. The cat girl, now free of her collar, stood beside him, eyes sharp, ears high. Her body moved without fear. This was familiar ground. Slavers, she said. Not military. That makes them worse, Elias replied. The first blast hit the shields. The ship spun. Metal groaned. Elias fought the controls, pulling hard, diving the ship toward a field of broken asteroids ahead. Hold on. She did not need to be told. She braced herself, claws digging into the floor for balance. The slaver ships followed without hesitation. They won't stop, she said. They never do. Elias clenched his jaw. Then we end it. He cut engines suddenly. The ship dropped dead in space. The slavers overshot. For one perfect second, they were exposed. Elias slammed the engines back on and fired. Energy bolts ripped across space. One slaver ship took the hit and spun out, trailing smoke. The second ship adjusted fast. Too fast. A beam tore through the shields. The cockpit lights died. Silence. Then emergency power flickered on. We're boarded, Elias said. The cat girl's tail lashed. Good, she said. The ship shuddered again as metal screamed from the rear hull. Boarding clamps locked on. Elias pulled open a weapons locker. She stopped him. No, she said. He froze. What? If you treat me like cargo, she said, I'll fight like cargo. Her eyes burned. Treat me like a partner. Elias met her gaze. Then he nodded. He handed her a blade. Not a shock weapon. Not a leash. A real tool. She took it without ceremony. The hull blew inward. Slavers poured into the ship, tall, armored figures with heavy weapons and cruel laughter. There she is, one shouted. Alive and expensive. Elias moved first. He fired once, dropping the lead slaver. The cat girl moved with him. Not wild. Not reckless. Precise. She flowed through the narrow hallway, using walls and ceilings, striking joints, pulling weapons away, disabling instead of killing. The slavers shouted in panic. She's off the leash. She's not obeying. Elias covered her back, firing only when needed. They fought like they had trained together for years. One slaver lunged at Elias from behind. The cat girl saw it. She leapt. Her blade flashed. The slaver fell. Elias did not even turn. He trusted her. The remaining slavers retreated toward their ship. Fall back, one screamed. Too late. The cat girl blocked the exit. Her ears flattened. Her teeth bared. You don't own me, she said. They opened fire. She moved. Fast. Too fast. When the smoke cleared, the hallway was empty except for fallen weapons and shaking walls. Elias stared at her. You saved me. She shrugged, trying to hide it. Don't read into it. But her tail flicked once. He smiled. The ship alarm chimed again. The second slaver ship was charging weapons. Elias ran to the cockpit. We can't outrun them, he said. Engines are damaged. She stepped beside him. Then don't run, she said. She pointed at the asteroid field on the screen. They'll follow. Elias understood instantly. You're insane. She smirked. You like that about me. They dove into the rocks. Asteroid spun and crashed around them. Elias flew by instinct, scraping hull and sparks, heart pounding. The slaver ship followed. Too greedy. Too close. The cat girl ran to the rear control panel. What are you doing? Elias shouted. She ripped open a maintenance hatch and climbed inside. I'm mending this, she said. She rerouted power manually, claws working wires with terrifying skill. Jump when I say, she shouted. The slaver ship fired. A blast tore past the cockpit. Now, she screamed. Elias hit the jump drive. Space folded. Light snapped. Silence. The ship reappeared far from a battlefield. The slaver ship did not. The asteroid field collapsed behind them. Elias slumped back, shaking. He laughed once, sharp and breathless. We survived. The cat girl climbed out of the hatch, breathing hard. She leaned against the wall. Then her knees buckled. Elias caught her. She was lighter than he expected. Hey, he said, stay with me. She grabbed his jacket. I didn't choose you, she said weakly. Not at first. He nodded. I know, but I choose you now. His chest tightened. Before he could answer, the ship's long-range scanner beeped again. Not one signal. Many. Elias looked at the screen. A fleet. Official markings. Council ships. Her eyes widened. They know, she whispered. About us. Elias exhaled slowly. The galaxy was watching now, and whatever came next, there would be no hiding. The council fleet surrounded them in silence. Massive ships formed a wide circle, lights cold and official. No weapons fired. No warnings given. Just presence. Elias slowed the engines. Running now would mean guilt. The cat girl stood beside him, arms crossed, expression sharp. She looked calm, but Elias noticed a tension in her tail. They will judge you, she said. Not fairly. They always say that, Elias replied. Then they watch what you do. A transmission request flashed. Elias accepted. A calm, distant voice filled the cockpit. Unregistered human vessel. Power down weapons and prepare for inspection. Elias nodded. Complying. The channel closed. Silence returned. They won't cage you, Elias said quietly. Not without reason. She gave a short laugh. You believe that? I believe in standing where I can be seen, he answered. She looked at him, studying his face. You are strange, she said. I hear that a lot. Docking clamps locked onto the ship. As the hatch opened, a small group of council officers entered. 3 species, armored but controlled. Their eyes moved from Elias to the cat girl and stopped. Recognition flashed. Whispers followed. One officer stepped forward. Subject confirmed, she said. Liminal variant. The cat girl's ears flattened instantly. Elias stepped half a step in front of her without thinking. She has a name, he said. The officer raised a brow. Does she? The cat girl surprised them both. My name is NYX, she said. Her voice was steady. The officers paused. Names meant identity. Identity meant rights. NYX. The officer repeated carefully. You are under council protection. NYX laughed softly. Too late for that. Elias felt her move. She stepped beside him again. Not behind. Not hiding. The officers exchanged looks. You will come with us, the officer said. Elias nodded. We will. The council station was clean, bright, and cold. NYX hated it. Too white. Too quiet. Too controlled. She walked beside Elias through long halls, eyes sharp, memorizing exits, counting guards. Her body stayed tense. Ready, Elias noticed. He leaned close and spoke softly. "You're safe here." She scoffed. "No one is safe where rules matter more than people." He did not argue. They were led into a waiting chamber. Transparent walls. No bars. Council members appeared on the far side. Many species. Many eyes. NYX crossed her arms and looked away. Elias stood straight. A tall counselor spoke. "Human Elias Ward, you are accused of interfering with restricted commerce, destroying private property, and harboring controlled asset." NYX's jaw tightened. Elias answered calmly. "I freed a person." Murmurs spread. "She is dangerous," another counselor said. "Engineered. Violent." NYX turned sharply. "I was trained to survive." The room quieted. A counselor leaned forward. "Why stay with a human? NYX. You are free now." NYX glanced at Elias. Just for a moment. Then she looked back at the council. "Because he does not order," she said. "He acts." Some counselors shifted. "You insult him," one said. NYX shrugged. "I protect him. That is my way." Elias almost smiled. The lead counselor tapped the panel. Images appeared. Destroyed slaver ships. Freed captives. Black market raid sparked by rumors. "Since your escape," the counselor said, 3 illegal markets have collapsed. Others are panicking. NYX frowned. "Why?" "Because they fear you," the counselor replied. NYX blinked. "Me?" "No," the counselor corrected. "The human." All eyes turned to Elias. "The galaxy sees a pattern," the counselor continued. "A human who does not profit, who does not dominate, who dismantles systems quietly." NYX stared at Elias. "You did not tell me this," she said. "I didn't know," he answered honestly. The council fell silent. Then the counselor spoke again. "NYX, your species has contacted us." Her ears snapped up. "They demand your return." NYX's body went still. "They say you are unstable," the counselor continued. "A danger to diplomacy." NYX's claws flexed. Elias stepped forward. "She chooses her own path." "Does she?" the counselor asked. All eyes turned to NYX. She felt the weight of it. Her people. Her past. Her freedom. She looked at Elias. He did not speak. He did not signal. He waited. NYX exhaled sharply. "You want to know what sunder means," she said suddenly. The council looked confused. "It means I show care through action," she continued. "Not words. I push away what I guard." She stepped closer to Elias and placed herself between him and the council. "This human does not own me," she said. "I stay because I choose to." A counselor whispered, "Unprecedented." NYX's tail flicked once. "I will help stop the market," she said. "I will testify. I will fight if needed." She looked straight at the council. "But he stays free." Silence filled the chamber. Then the lead counselor nodded slowly. "So be it." Elias felt tension leave his shoulders. NYX did not relax. She never did. Later, on a balcony overlooking the stars, NYX leaned against the railing. Elias stood beside her. "You could have left," he said. She snorted. "You would get yourself killed." "That's not an answer." She glanced at him, ears tilted back. "Do not misunderstand," she said. "I am not kind. I know. I am sharp. I argue. I fight. I know." She crossed her arms tighter. "But if someone stand between you and danger," she added, "it will be me." Elias looked at her. "Thank you." She scoffed and turned away, hiding her face. Below them, stars burned bright. But far away, in the dark, powerful groups watched. And they were afraid. Because the galaxy was learning something dangerous. A human and a former weapon were not following orders anymore. They were choosing. And that made them unstoppable. The council chamber was full. Not just council members, observers too. Military leaders. Trade delegates. Media drones floated silently above, recording every breath, every movement. This was no longer about one cat girl. It was about humans. NYX stood in the center of the chamber. No chains, no collar, Just light armor and her own claws. Elias stood behind her, not touching her, not guiding her. He was there only as support. The lead counselor raised a hand. Order. The chamber quieted. This session concerns a liminal program, the counselor said, voice steady, and the role of humanity in its creation. A massive screen activated. Images filled the room. Labs, cages, experiments. Children with glowing collars. Bodies shaking under control signals. NYX did not look away. Some council members did. These crimes spanned decades, the counselor continued, and many were funded, staffed, and protected by human corporations. A murmur of anger rose. A military delegate slammed a fist on the table. Then humanity must answer for it. NYX's ears flattened. Elias felt her tension and stepped forward, but she lifted a hand. No, she said. Her voice echoed in the chamber. She stepped closer to the center. You want to judge humanity? She asked. Then listen to me first. The council hesitated. Then the lead counselor nodded. Speak. NYX took a breath. I was trained to kill humans, she said. Trained to see you as monsters. She pointed at the screen. They showed me images like these and told me they were all of you. She turned slowly, looking at every face. That was a lie. Gasps echoed. NYX continued. I met humans who hurt me. Humans who broke my people. Her voice tightened. But I also met a human who removed my chains without asking for obedience. All eyes turned to Elias. He did not command, NYX said. He did not profit. He did not run. She lifted her chin. Judge corporations, she said. Judge systems. Judge silence. She looked straight at the council. But do not judge a species as one mind. The chamber fell silent. A counselor whispered, unprecedented testimony. A hard voice broke the quiet. Sentiment does not erase guilt. A tall figure stepped forward, a human delegate. Elias stiffened. The liminal program was legal under frontier law, the delegate said, and its result protected billions. NYX turned toward him slowly. Protected? She asked. She moved closer. Who did it protect? She demanded. The child screaming under that collar, or the boardroom far away? The delegate hesitated. NYX's claws flexed. You taught me efficiency, she said. So hear this efficiently. She pointed at the screen. Every being you control now remembers. Every survivor talks. And they all remember one thing. She looked back at the council. They were hurt by humans, yes, but freed by one too. The chamber erupted in noise. Arguments. Shouts. Protests. Military leaders argued for sanctions. Others warned of war. The lead counselor slammed the gavel. Enough! Silence snapped back. Human Elias Ward, the counselor said. Step forward. Elias did. You acted without authority, the counselor said. You destroyed property and interfered with galactic trade. Yes, Elias replied. You risked war. Yes. The counselor stared at him. Why? Elias looked at NYX, then at the council. Because some lines don't belong to law, he said. They belong to conscience. The room stilled. A tactical officer spoke urgently. Several member species are mobilizing fleets. If this ruling condemns humanity, retaliation is likely. NYX's ears snapped up. Whoa, she said sharply. The counselor nodded. Possible. NYX stepped forward again. No, she said. Her voice cut through the chamber. I will not be the reason another war starts. She turned to Elias, then back to the council. If you punish humanity as a whole, she said, you prove the program was right. The words hit hard. If you separate guilt from species, she continued, you end it forever. The council members exchanged long looks. Finally, the lead counselor stood. This council will not declare humanity guilty as a species, he said slowly. Gasps filled the room. Instead, he continued, we will dismantle the liminal program, prosecute those responsible, and grant full legal personhood to all engineered beings. NYX's breath caught. Elias closed his eyes. And Elias Ward, the counselor added, "You will not be punished." Elias looked up sharply. "You will be watched." He nodded. "Faye." The counselor turned to NYX. "You are free," he said, "and protected." NYX's tail flicked once. Later, in a quiet corridor, NYX leaned against the wall, exhausted. Elias stood nearby. "You stopped a war," he said. She scoffed weakly. "I hate speeches." He smiled. She looked at him. "You know what comes next," she said. "Yes." "They will come after you quietly now." "I know." She stepped closer. "Then you won't face them alone." Outside the station, fleets powered down. War dissolved into uneasy peace. But in the shadows, those who lost power began to plan. Because one truth now spread across the galaxy. Humanity could no longer hide behind systems. And one human had reminded the stars what responsibility looked like. The galaxy changed quietly. There was no celebration, no parade, just systems shutting down one by one. Black markets went dark. Accounts froze. Labs were sealed. Warrants spread across trade routes like wildfire. The liminal program died without a single shot fired. Elias and NYX did not stay on the council station long. They never did. Too many eyes. Too many questions. Their ship slipped back into space. Small and unimportant compared to fleets and stations, but it carried something rare now. Freedom. NYX stood at the viewport, watching stars slide past. Her ears were relaxed. Her tail moved slowly, calm for the first time Elias had ever seen. "They are afraid of you," she said. "Of me?" Elias asked. "Of what you showed them," NYX replied. "That control can be refused." Elias leaned against the wall. "I didn't plan any of this," he said. NYX smirked. "That makes it worse for them." They traveled to places no one else went. Forgotten moons, broken stations, silent wrecks. Wherever there were rumors of cages, they followed. They did not arrive as saviors. They arrived as witnesses. NYX moved first in those places, quiet, sharp, unseen. Elias followed, steady and human, documenting everything, sending proof to the council, lighting small fires that could not be put out. Word spread, not of violence, of choice. Engineered beings began to speak. Survivors testified. Victims were believed. And for the first time, many species saw a human not as a ruler or a weapon, but as a line that would not be crossed. On a quiet world near the edge of known space, they stopped. NYX's people waited there. Not soldiers. Families. Elders with tired eyes. Children hiding behind legs. NYX stood still at the ramp, claws flexing. Elias did not touch her. "Your choice," he said. She walked forward alone. The elders watched her carefully. One step closer. "You were altered," he said. "You are dangerous." NYX lifted her chin. "I was hurt," she replied. "Not broken." The elder studied her scars. "You may stay," he said finally, "or you may go." NYX looked back at Elias. He did not move. He did not call. He did not beg. She returned to him. "I will visit," she said, "but I will not belong to fear again." The elders nodded. They understood. Back on the ship, silence filled the space between stars. NYX sat on the floor, knees drawn up. Elias handed her a datapad. "What's this?" she asked. "Coordinates," he said. "Place is still in trouble." She glanced at the screen, then at him. "You are impossible," she said. "You stay anyway." She snorted. "Unfortunately." Time passed. Scars faded. Others stayed. NYX learned to sleep without listening for alarms. Elias learned to read her silences. She argued. She pushed him away when he worried too much. She protected him when danger came close. Sunda, in her own way. One night, as the ship drifted between systems, NYX spoke quietly. "If you had not raised your hand that day..." Elias looked at her. "I would be a weapon," she finished. "Or dead." "You raised your own hand," he said. "I just noticed." She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "I choose this life." He nodded. No speeches. No promises. Just truth. Years later, historians would argue about when the black markets truly fell. Some would point to laws, others to council rulings. But among free beings, one story spread more than any record. Not about a hero, about a human who did not buy power, and a cat girl who was never owned. They said, humanity was once feared for its weapons, then respected for its systems, but remembered for something else entirely. A single moment in a dark market, a raised hand, and a choice. NYX stood beside Elias at the viewport. Where to now? She asked. Elias smiled. Wherever someone needs to be seen, he said. Her tail flicked. Then move, she replied, before I change my mind. The ship jumped. Stars stretched into light. And in the quiet between worlds, the galaxy learned a lesson it would never forget. Freedom is not given. It is chosen. And sometimes, humanity is strongest not when it conquers, but when it refuses to own.